Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben Stradamus. That's correct, guys. I made a prediction about a year ago, and it has came true. Now, you have to wonder if the reason why it became true is because there's a much bigger plan in place, and the entire XRP case was orchestrated. I'm just telling you, we'll see. There's some very odd coincidences. When you start looking at the timing of this case ending, this is going to center around FedNow. Now, we're going to talk about tonight what FedNow is. It's going to be rolling out in the end of July. And at the end of this video, I'm going to explain to you a scenario that was given to me that I didn't really take that serious at the time. But now, because of the timing, odd coincidence, you have to wonder. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So let's start with this. What is FedNow? So FedNow is a payment processor that's going to be ran by the Federal Reserve. Now, if you want to know more about instant payments, what that is, go ahead down below and you can click the link. I've got a nice training module link for you from the Federal Reserve explaining to you what a payment is. But it's actually pretty good. It explains it pretty well. So check it out. Now, FedNow is rolling out very soon. So check this clip of me last year talking about FedNow.
There is a killer on the loose, a crypto killer. This one's been training for years, waiting in the shadows of the deep state to pounce. FedNow has been hailed as a crypto killer by some and a CBDC by others. But in reality, it's neither.
You see, FedNow isn't a crypto or a CBDC. Something much different. It's a payment processor. Now, we're going to explain what that means. FedNow is what they call a closed loop system. An open loop system needs people from the outside to come in, okay? Think PayPal, think Venmo. A closed loop system for a payment processor is instantaneous. Think Zelle. Zelle's a good example, and obviously FedNow is a good example. Now, you can see here that they didn't believe that we would be seeing CBDCs rolled out for 5 to 7 more years, about 2 years ago or so, or they're going to talk about that in the video at some point. And the question is, was this basically a way to kind of facilitate more government control on our money well before a CBDC is actually ready to go? It ends the need for them to push a CBDC very quickly. It buys them a lot more time because there's going to be a lot of information and data gathered from all these payments. Now, here's the thing with FedNow. It's rolling out the end of this month. In a couple weeks, it's rolling out. We'll talk about that timing in a second. But very interesting, isn't it? And when you look at the need for this, right? Now, when you talk about instant payments, okay, what is this? Let me give you an example of the evolution of payments where we're at right now. Here in America, if you have not been outside of the country, a lot of people still insert their chip into the debit card or credit card reader at retail stores, right? I had always done it. That's what I did. I just inserted the chip. I didn't have, in my business cards, maybe had the tap, but didn't have the tap. Go to London and be in a line and be in the front and insert the chip. People will stare at you like you have 7 heads. In Europe, they pretty much exclusively use the tap feature, right? Why? Well, tap feature's faster. It's on the subway, they're walking by, or the tube, they're just walking by and just tapping and going. And it's so much faster, it's so much more efficient. An example the Federal Reserve uses, which we all know, is imagine the old lady writing the check at the grocery store. How long did that take? You know the lady. She got gray, kind of like a little perm, some glasses. You know the one. She got a brown purse. You know the lady. So she's writing a check, and it takes forever. Credit cards, they used to take forever, but everything's getting much, much faster. Now, of course, cash, cash is pretty fast, but the person's still got to count the change and the whole thing. There's nothing faster than a tap. There's power and instantaneousness, okay? And when you look at the future of mankind, everything we do will become faster and faster and faster. It has since the beginning of time. So because of that, it makes sense for the government to get on board with this and get ready for instant payments. Is a huge advantage to people. And it's a huge advantage to businesses too. Because think about this, not only are you able to spend and go quickly, you're getting your payments quickly. Like you don't have to wait. Like I think one day I was thinking about this, like the way that a lot of digital advertising companies work, like Google AdSense and stuff like that, is you get paid like net 30, net 60, net 45, net 90, where you don't get paid for people clicking on your ad sometimes for 90 days if you're in that business. One day, all that's going to be instant. Every time somebody clicks, your ad or your website to go somewhere to buy something, you're getting an affiliate payment immediately. That's the future. It allows you to do so much more. You don't have to be strung up by waiting for payments to go through. And there's also a much less likely chance that there's going to be insufficient funds because it's instant.
Today, everything is expected to be lightning fast, and Ripple potentially has found a multi-trillion-dollar problem to solve. The payments program FedNow is tapping 91 different firms for payment processing, and many openly use the blockchain tech of Ripple to give a dynamic facelift to the existing financial system. The most fascinating part of this seemingly standard upgrade is what you will find under the hood of this new machine. An array of partnerships between Ripple and companies like Volatile, Fidelity Instant Payment Services, Euronet, Finastra, and Cross River have been chosen by the Federal Reserve to put this plan into action. This web of connections dates back to 2014 when Cross River partnered with Ripple, and now they all find themselves in a select group chosen to roll out the FedNow program. Volante and Ripple began building the VolPay Ripple integration in late 2015.
Also, guys, I want to mention, I've heard you. I know you guys really hate the steak commercials, which, I don't know. You know which steak commercial I really enjoyed? I really enjoyed the one that used to have Flo for Outback. I think that was her name. Flo's Filet. She's a great spokesperson. Flo from Flo's Filet actually made it not nearly as long as Flo from Progressive. She's still around kicking it. So is that AT&T girl. There's your steak commercial. We love steak. Play games with crypto. Go to bitboycrypto.com/steak. And you can sign up on the left side if you're American, on the right side if you're international. Thank you to our sponsor, Steak. So, all right, now let's talk about the timing of this. Let's talk about, now here's the big prediction that I made. Let's roll this clip looking at the XRP Ripple lawsuit and what its relationship with FedNow is.
As FedNow prepares to roll out, Ripple still finds itself in a long-standing and hotly contested lawsuit from the SEC. But this timing begins to make sense as you dig deeper into statements like what was said by the Faster Payments Task Force working with Ripple in 2017. The legal status of a blockchain transaction has not yet, as far as I know, been ruled on by a court of law. Until there is a challenge by an aggrieved party and a court rules in Ripple's favor, this remains an unsettled issue. Could this lawsuit be timed to provide clarity right before a public launch of FedNow? If not, why would the program be able to move forward with Ripple connected in any way? As the White House works on the action plan in response to Uncle Joe's recent executive order on cryptocurrency regulation framework, stablecoins and mixers have so far been the main target of policymakers.
Very interesting. In this video, I discuss the chances of the Ripple case ending right before FedNow rolls out, so there's clarity. If you saw that very interesting quote from that document, it says that basically, until there is a judge that makes a decision on whether Ripple is a security or not, we're not going to have clarity in the space. Ripple has been the one coin, and of course, Ethereum, ever since they did the merge, has been a little topic of conversation. But XRP has always been the example of what could be the security in crypto forever. That's what people have always said. So there's a fear, there's a skepticism, there's a hesitation for people to get in because of this. Well, that's all over now. No, we're not done with the case, but essentially we are done with the case for retail investors, institutional investors, institutions, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson. They still got a few things to straighten out, but it doesn't really affect the overall, trajectory of, is this a security or not? It's been judged by the judge that it is not. So now we've got this rolling out right before the same freaking month that FedNow is coming out. And, it just makes you wonder if there's a bigger conspiracy at play here. And you guys know I used to talk to this guy, Mr. X. Totally real person, 100%. He sent me messages all the time. I haven't spoken to him in over a year. Since January of last year, January of 2022 was the last time I talked to him. He gave me a lot of information that came true. He gave me two things that didn't happen, which is Bitcoin to 100K and the Ripple case ending by September of 2021. It did not occur. However, we do know they did turn out settlement in that time frame. So whatever. That's not important. What is important is, he told me, he said, you need to understand this entire XRP case is orchestrated. The entire thing is about getting it to where it's not a security, clearing all the FUD and making it the first registered crypto. Now, XRP has been out trading Bitcoin in volume several times in the last several instances in the last few days since the case is over. And you got to wonder, is there a bigger plan with XRP, a gigantic plan with XRP that the government could have actually been involved in? This is what I was told. Now, in my heart, I think Brad Garlinghouse is an upstanding guy. I think he really hates the SEC. I don't think he's an actor. I think he hates Gary Gensler. And so that to me is the hard sell in trying to figure out if this was all orchestrated. And if it was orchestrated, then man, what a way to treat your holders. But I mean, we're all going to do okay over time. But that's my one hesitation. However, there is, when you look at the timing, and there's more, there's a little more evidence here. So let's check out a connection between maybe the White House and XRP here.
Not all bad for crypto in these conversations, it seems, as a recent briefing from White House officials suggests some digital assets could help facilitate faster payments and make financial services more accessible. But more work is needed to ensure they truly benefit underserved consumers and do not lead to predatory financial practices. While the average American runs and hides from crypto in this bear market, the government is courting a handful of crypto firms to rise into mainstream adoption.
So isn't it interesting? Joe Biden's team puts out this report because that man's not capable of putting out anything. Not even a campground fire from roasted marshmallows. He can't even do that, guys. It's so sad. He can't sniff your hair, though. But the fact is that the administration, Joe Biden's administration, put out this report, and what have they been targeting? They've been targeting CBDCs, payment opportunities. Obviously, you had the XRP case going on. This is something that they've been targeting and they've been angling at. Now, FedNow is a payment processor. It's not a CBDC. But could they be trying to push off more CBDC competitors through FedNow? Because, guys, you can send cash instantly. And if you're not in crypto, you don't really need stable coins right now. Stable coins is what I'm trying to say. CBDCs and stable coins is what the government was targeting. I miss that word, stable coins. Sometimes I use them interchangeably and they're not the same thing at all. But stable coins are something that allow us to move quickly with payments. Peter McCormick just recently, we talked about him yesterday, recently went down to, I think he said it was in Costa Rica or Venezuela somewhere, and he saw that, wow, actually people in these other countries, they need money quickly and the payments need to be fast. And Tether networks, the TRC or the ERC network for Ethereum, they work faster than Bitcoin by a long shot. You're starting to see the need for payments really come to the surface here. You're seeing the problems why all this stuff is necessary. And even Peter said, man, I was a laser eye maxing like everybody else, but man, I think some of these other networks actually have use. Good job, Peter. Really proud of you for that. That's a big admission for you to make, sir. You dug your heels in very hard on this, and now to kind of, come back from it a little bit, I think it's really good, man. I think it's really big of you. But point is that when you're looking at CBDCs and you're looking at stablecoins and you're looking at FedNow, they're all dealing with fast payments, guys. Like it talked about in the video, we need faster and more agile payments. So there's been rumors that Ripple was going to work on FedNow forever, but we never actually saw literal evidence that was proven to be true that was XR or was Ripple working with the government. Okay, but some of the companies that work with FedNow, Cross River, and whatever the other two companies are, they have some ties directly to Ripple, which is very interesting because it's like the government has, I'm turning into one of these crazy XRP people. It's like the government has been setting this up in a way so you don't see the connections. And if you were going to run a grand conspiracy and run a fake case, basically, that you already knew the answer to and you want to time it correctly, because end of 2021 would have been the end of the end of 2021, September, would have been near the end of the bull run. That was right when the DXY reversed. So that's interesting. DXY reversed, I believe it was in September that thing started going back up again. And that was what eventually would kill the bull run in terms of macroeconomically. There are plenty of things that killed it, Sam, Alameda, FTX, the whole thing. But that definitely played a role. So the point here is this, is if you were going to do something like this, you wouldn't want it to end in September of 2021. Why? Because the market was about to go down. The timing of this could not be more perfect. And that's the thing that we got to think about as we go forward. Now, ultimately, if we all make a lot of money on XRP, then does it matter if it was a conspiracy or not? Well, the people that lost money and sold, they're going to be mad about it. Probably never be proven. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe that the whole case was a fraud and it was always going? It sounds so backwards on what we've been talking about. That's a scenario that was given to me. Do you believe this was orchestrated by the government to hide their ties to Ripple and to hide their ties between Ripple and FedNow? I want to know. Drop your comments down below. I want to know if you think it's connected or not. All right, guys. I think this was a good video. I enjoyed it. That's all I got. Be blessed. Bye-bye out.